Here now to discuss which deal would be better is Mark Douglas. He's the CEO of Mountain, and it's great to have you here on set. Welcome.
Hi.
What is going through your mind as you watch this? And we've talked for years, Mark, about your bullishness about Netflix in general.
Yeah.
So does this to you add to the bull story, or how are you thinking about it?
Well, I think it definitely adds to the bull story, but I also look at the deal, and I think this is kind of a nice to have for Netflix. They already have global presence. They have many properties. There are many reasons to go and watch Netflix. But, so it's a nice to have for Netflix, but it's a must have for Skydance and Paramount. For them to build that challenging platform, they're going to need Warner, HBO, Discovery, which I don't think people mention enough, all of these assets to build that challenging platform.
So, you're in the ad business, obviously. You have kind of a front row seat and a ability to you're like the high level data on this, right? Do you have an opinion or a preference as to how this evolves? Are you worried it would be anti-competitive?
Meaning Netflix getting control?
I guess in either case, frankly, just the consolidation.
I actually don't think either one would be anti-competitive, but in terms of, I know people at both companies, so I kind of, have chatted with people, and I think, if you take an offer directly to investors, and in this case, probably to some of the biggest investors, I think it's going to be difficult for the Warner Brothers board to kind of ignore an offer that's this much larger than what the offer they got from Netflix. So I think the decision to just kind of take it directly to the streets, so to say, almost figuratively and literally, I think is a smart decision. I think Skydance stands a very good chance of winning in the end.
Yeah, how is the health of the ad market these? I mean, again, I ask you kind of because that's your bread and butter, but also to get a sense, we hear from Hollywood, it's the worst of times, and if Netflix wins, it'll be the worster of times kind of thing. How would you describe the landscape right now?
Well, in terms of the ad market, I actually think things are very healthy. That's certainly what we see. There's still a lot of growth and so forth. But I think what's also a little misunderstood, this is one of the best times because of AI to create that challenger brand. The cost of creating content is coming down. Even for feature films, it's certainly coming down in the advertising space and what we do. And so if you want to enter this market, you have these properties and you want to create more content, AI is going to be your way to do it very, very efficiently compared to what it used to cost in the past. So I think, again, like Skydance, Paramount, you combine that with Warner, AI tools in order to create the content for less cost. I think there's a real play here. Both companies, I think what's really nice is they both love content. Skydance isn't in this like as a financial play.
Absolutely.
Right. They're in this because they love the medium and they're willing to put a massive amount of capital to work to prove that.
I think it's interesting that you said AI will help the business models of these companies.
Yeah.
It sounds like Laura Martin's concern is that AI could undermine the business model or disrupt a Netflix or disrupt a content powerhouse because you might have startups that are able to put content out there and get those eyeballs and just kind of create other platforms where those eyeballs could go. So she views it as more of a threat. You seem to view it as more of an opportunity.
No, I view it very much as an opportunity because, when you go out to dinner with your friends, ultimately you talk about the big shows, Landman, White Lotus, many of them are on these properties and some of the biggest shows on Netflix, and I don't see that going away. People are not ready to talk about the short-form film they watch for 5 minutes.
Hey, this YouTube clip, have you seen any of these? What are they, like the 90-second soap operas that are now?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
Have you seen them?
I have, and someone mentioned to me, and I started seeing them, and that's an example of you can have new content, new sources of content, but it doesn't change the fact that what you're probably going to talk about at dinner is the season opener Landman. That's where the conversation's going to go, and that's where consumers are going to go.